It is about 9:20 GMT. I'm about to watch the very first episode of Wheel of Time. And I don't know what else to say. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Before watching this series, I had high hopes. Sure, there were a few changes made to the story that I was a little bit apprehensive about, but I reserved judgment until I watched it. So I got up bright and early this morning to see my favourite story finally realised on the screen. I will be getting into spoilers later on, but for the moment, what did I think of the 3 episodes I watched? Well, the first 3 episodes follow Rand, Matt, Egwene and Perrin as their home village is attacked by an army of Trollocs, minions of the Dark One. A mysterious stranger called Moraine tells the characters one of them could be the Dragon Reborn, the reincarnation of a man who caused the breaking of the world 3,000 years ago, and who is destined to either save the world or break it again. The story follows fairly closely to that of the books, but there are massive chunks that have been cut or swapped out. I don't feel like you missed out on anything at those points though. Maybe later on they'll need to fill in the gaps, but for new viewers I don't believe they'll notice. By the end of the 3rd episode you can see a major departure from the books, but I'll probably talk about that next time. That's a change. That's another change. Exposition was kind of kept to a minimum, except during the stories about Men Ethrin and Shadow Logoth, and was only really done when needed. Much of the story was told through action and reaction. An example would be when Moraine heals Tam. She's obviously struggling, and after the relative ease of dispatching the Trollocs earlier, you can see that she is worn out. We didn't really need any explanation because we could see it. It would be so easy for Lan to comment on this, but they showed a little bit of restraint, which is good. No! The first episode does open with expository monologue though. I do think it was a little odd to start off the show with those scenes. Moraine seeking out the Dragon Reborn and Leandrin finding Loghain are important, yes, but it feels like a continuation of a show rather than the beginning of one. But then there are neither beginnings nor endings. I hate him already. Throughout these first episodes we learn about each of the characters. However, as I have read the books, I am familiar with who these characters are, and from what I saw, I don't believe any of them acted out of character from the books. Yeah. Right now. Yeah. For the most part, the characters are spot on. There were definitely some character moments I liked. Perrin fighting a Trolloc and the horrific consequences of that duel. Nynaeve before her badass braid flip. Rand standing up to Moraine, Matt being heroic, protecting his sisters. I never really felt any moment that stood out for Egwene though, perhaps because she's far from my favourite character, plus her great moments come much later in the story. This had lots of slow moments, and I am a big advocate for slowing down the story every now and then. We don't need to go from plot point to plot point as fast as possible in case the audience gets bored. Sometimes we need a bit of a breather. Particularly after such an intense battle like Winter Night. We need to sit down with Perrin for a moment and process what he did. We need to see Rand and Egwene comfort each other, and it can definitely be tempting to cram everything from the books into a show like this, but if the showrunners did that, then we would be missing out on a lot of substance. So now I will enter into spoiler territory. You have been warned. initial thoughts, I'm impressed. They got the characters absolutely 100% spot on. Matt was being the hero, which they didn't really show much of in the book, and so I'm liking his character in this. Perrin, I just can't get over the fact that he's going to hate that axe even more than he did in the book. Definitely giving him more ammunition for hating that thing. Nynaeve was brilliant. Egwene, Ran, they all were. I've got to think about this because I don't know whether it's just me being so hyped up that I'm enjoying this. I've really got to just think about this. Can I find any flaws in it and things like that? Is it really as good as my initial thoughts? So, but now I'm going to watch episode 2. First, let's get a few things out of the way. Some of the acting seemed off to me. Not bad, just off. Particularly when characters try to appear mysterious. Moiraine's first scene in the Wine Spring Inn is an example of this. The majority of it was fine, excellent even, so I don't really have anything to really complain about that. Other things I didn't like were when small things were left out of the books. There is no mention of a Heron-marked blade, though we could definitely see it. It could be mentioned later on, but yeah, we could have had a scene of Rand looking at Tan's blade, for instance, and Lan maybe giving a short explanation of what that means. Sure, we have a scene of Tan showing off his blade master skills, but that just shows he can fight, not that he is one of the best. So, episode 2. I've just popped down to Tesco, got me some breakfast. It's about 20 to 11, and they're about to go into Shadow Logoth. Don't know whether they'll reach Baerlon. Min has been cast, but will they actually show her in Baerlon or somewhere else? I don't know. There's already been a massive amount of changes, but the things that matter have been kept, like the characters and the overall gist of the story. So, yeah, looking forward to this one. This one should be creepy. I'm not in complete darkness, so it might be alright. We'll see how it goes. There's not really a whole lot that I didn't like, though. As to what I did like, Marcus Rutherford's Perrin is definitely a standout here. He has so little dialogue that he needs to act to get the story across. Speaking of Perrin, this happened. Holy crap! Perrin was unmarried in the books, and the fact that he had a wife in the series has long been theorised, as had the fact that she dies. But Perrin killing her was completely unexpected. In the books, it's constantly referenced that he carefully thinks through his decisions in case he hurts anyone, and this is a result of what happens when he lets himself go. And by the end of these 3 episodes, he still hasn't really told anybody what happened, but you can see that it is killing him inside. I'm still liking it. Nynaeve sneaking up on Lan is just brilliant. I don't know whether they killed Bella. If they did, I think that's reason to never watch the show again. I think I'll watch episode 3. Nynaeve killing the Trolloc is also well within character. She's a type of person who can sneak up on a freaking warder. So rather than go toe-to-toe with Trolloc 3 times the size of her, she uses it into initiative and lures it into a trap, and that blade flip afterwards was well earned. I also like the fact that they have kept the friction between core cast, but Moiraine certainly does not earn her trust from the others, and there are some scenes such as her destruction of the inn and letting the ferryman die that make Rand ask the question, is she any better than those who are chasing them? This is a perfectly understandable question at this point. Episode 3, A Place of Safety. Let's get on with it. The action sequences were great. The choreography with Moraine Lan almost seemed like a dance. The IU would be proud. There was the obligatory shaky cam there throughout the some sequences, but it didn't really feel overdone to me. So I like that. I really dislike shaky cam. And the special effects never really looked off to me. Perhaps a few scenes of the Trollocs on all fours look CGI, but I'm just nitpicking here. Aside from the one power sequences, it was difficult to tell what was real and what was not, at least on first viewing. Maybe if I watch it again, I might spot these things. I don't think there was anything I'd really change about these episodes though. Maybe have a proper prologue at the beginning. It doesn't have to be the death of Luz Theron as it was in the books, but I would have had something big to open the episode and really grab your attention. Overall, I thought this met my expectations, and I couldn't really fault it. I will definitely be watching these again. I tried to watch the extras as well, but then this happened. I would recommend this to book fans and newcomers alike, and I can't wait for the next episode. So far, it's been pretty good. I haven't seen anything that I would really say is something that I'm annoyed about, or shouldn't have happened, or isn't very good. I think there's probably a few criticisms I can make, but I'll have to think about it a little bit more. But I like it. First 3 episodes, definitely give a thumbs up at the moment.